Hey there, I'm Jackie Ferris. This week on the 302, we are at Winterthur for the 45th annual point-to-point steeplechase. It's a day of pageantry, glamour, and horse racing. Grab your fascinator. The 302 is taking you beyond the starting line. Welcome to Point to Point. Welcome to the Delaware Derby, also known as Point to Point. It is the largest fundraising event here at Winterthur. I'm joined by the Point to Point race director, Jill Abbott. You're a very busy lady. Thank you so much.
Well, it's a busy day. It's beautiful out here.
So this is the 45th year of this event.
It is. Thus, I'm in blue for Sapphire.
There you go. So tell me a little bit about, what is Point to Point all about?
Well, it is besides being our largest annual fundraiser, we're a professional sporting event. 18 years ago, we became sanctioned by the National Steeplechase Association. So the jockeys that we see here starting at 2 o'clock, it's their livelihood. The owner, trainer, riders, this is what they do for a living. We provide them this beautiful event for purse money, so they run for $60,000 today.
Wow.
So somebody's going to take home a nice prize today.
Absolutely, and the crowds are just amazing. I've talked to a couple of people who come out here every single year. This is not just a community, but a family event.
It is traditions. We have generations, and my daughter, she started coming here when she was 7 weeks old when I came back to work. And it's so funny because when I was directing it, I said, someday she's going to come and she's going to be out here with all these kids. And now she's 21 years old. I've been here 25 years. So I'm now seeing my friends' children's generation and some of my friends' kids that are now have their own children. So it is multi-generational, and there's something here for everyone. I mean, you see, we've got the Rolls Royces, we've got the carriages coming up momentarily. We've got all the family activities, amongst all of the tailgating. So there's really something for everyone here.
Absolutely. Everybody gets dressed to the nines.
I love your fascinator.
I know, right?
You look great.
Talk to me about that.
Absolutely. I mean, we have our best dressed contest, so we'll be announcing that. The Lieutenant Governor, Bethany Hall Long, will be announcing that at 2:15. So we are combing the crowd to find the best dressed today. So everyone does like to show up.
Everybody has a really good time. I know we're going to talk to Drew Tevis later.
Great. Yep. He's judging our tailgate competition.
So what is it about tailgating here at Point to Point?
I think it's the beautiful countryside, right? We've invited everyone here for basically lunch in Mr. DuPont's garden, and we have a horse race, and it's a great occasion and a great excuse for everyone to come out and enjoy the land here.
So how exactly did this get started? I know it's a very prestigious, very high-profile event, but how did we get here 45 years later?
Right, great question. The Board of Trustees 45 years ago wanted to make a fundraiser, wanted to, the underutilized lands at the time, they wanted to bring the people to Winterthur. So Greets Layton created this event.
Absolutely.
She was one of our Board of Trustees.
And so people do come and they can get to see the races themselves. That we saw some foxhounds.
We do. We have the River Hills Foxhounds that they come through. Absolutely. We have the Delaware State bagpipers. They herald the races. So we really, it reaches so many parts of our community and so many different groups that come in and want to be here and want to help.
And I know that part of that help is, the money goes to preserving 1,000 acres of just beautiful, area.
Yes, absolutely. And it does. It's the maintenance of all this. I mean, you look at this today and you think, oh, wow, I can't imagine. I don't cut the grass here, but there's a lot of grass to cut. There's a lot of track to cut. But beyond that, so much of our garden too. And the nice thing about it is today's a busy day, and we everyone's out here, but they can bring their wristband back and come to Winterthur during the month of May. So everybody brings their wristband back so they can see the other part of the garden, not just the fields.
Absolutely. Now there are people that maybe haven't been out to Winterthur, and there's so much to see. So talk to me a little bit about what, I guess, when you visit Winterthur, where should you even start?
At our visitor center. And we're a museum with 175 rooms, but we're also a naturalistic garden. So there's just, you can just wander. We have a children's garden, Enchanted Woods, which I used to bring my daughter to when she was little. So, and we have a library. So we're so many things to so many groups of people that can enjoy.
So we're going to make 2 shows out of this because there's so much to see. So we have a show on the 20th and the show on the 27th. So for somebody who watches them and says, you know what, I want to come next year, what do they need to know? What should they bring? How do you prepare for a day at Point to Point?
Well, and the good thing about this event is there's so many ways to enjoy it, right? We have hospitality tents, so basically you can buy a wristband for that, and I say, you know, it's all inclusive, right? Or you can bring, you know, you bring your tailgate, get a group of friends together. You can bring sandwiches and things, or you can be a Winterthur member and just enjoy it on the hill. We have so many people just sitting on the hill with a picnic basket and a blanket. So there's so many ways to enjoy the day.
Well, we're certainly going to do that whenever we're done shooting our segments. But Jill, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. You know, I know that you got to run the races. Thank you so much.
Next year is May 5th.
Absolutely. There you go.
So May 5th, 2024.
We'll be right back.
And we start sales on March 1st. So remember that next year.
We'll be right back.
I'm Mike Connolly. I'm the Executive Director at the Newcastle Historical Society. We'd love to welcome you to Newcastle and tell you all about the history of the 302, Delaware.
Welcome back. We're spending a beautiful day at Winterthur. Look around at all the shiny things, a fleet of Rolls Royces behind us. We're joined now by the chairman of the Keystone Region Rolls Royce Owners Club, Tom Weinhardt. Tom, thanks so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I couldn't be more excited.
Tell me a little bit about all these beautiful automobiles.
Well, the cars, these are wonderful automobiles. They're always considered the best car in the world, which is a little over the top, but at the same time, as you can see by what we have here, well cared for examples of historically relevant automobiles that have been well cared for. Some of them have been pretty much totally restored, or some are just very quality drivers, but extremely well maintained by their present owner and even previous owners.
So talk to me a little bit about the range. I know there are some more modern cars, and then someone was talking to me about a Silver Ghost. What is that?
Oh, Silver Ghost was the first car. It's actually, rats, I can't quite remember the VIN number of it, but it's the most expensive car probably in the world right now.
Amazing.
And it's in the possession of Rolls-Royce Motors in England. Mm-hmm. And that was the car that was nicknamed the Silver Ghost, and also where the most quietest car in the world came from. And how to put it? Gosh, it's I'm lost for words.
It's just absolutely beautiful. So tell me about the cars that we have here today.
The cars we have here today range from all the way in at the very end. That is a Phantom Suburban, which is basically a station wagon. The car has never been touched but cosmetically, but it's been mechanically restored to perfection. But it's, once again, it's all original as far as, you know, the cosmetics. So it's all wood on the outside of it. That's the oldest one here. Going up to, we do have a 2012 Bentley 51, which is a rather much more modern automobile. But in the middle, we have that's the one right there. And then we have a Silver Cloud 3.
Beautiful.
A Silver Cloud 1. And these are just fabulous automobiles.
So what is it about?
What else do we have over here? Oh, more clouds. That gray car is an outstanding example of a 1957 Bentley Flying Spur.
Okay.
Which was a coach-built car. When I say coach-built, I'm talking about cars that were not mass-produced. Mm-hmm. You would buy a chassis with the engine and possibly the grille, and then you would hire a coach builder to create the car for you according to what you wanted. Very, very personalized.
So let's talk a little bit about the emblem. It's iconic. Tell me a little bit about the history, why it looks like it's a woman that's flying. It has a name, right?
Well, Spirit of Ecstasy or the Flying Lady. Charles Sykes, who actually was the sculptor at the time, had an assistant of his actually standing there with like a shawl on, and that's with her arms spread out, and it looks like wings. It really isn't wings. It was a woman holding her arms out, leaning forward, one leg in front of the other.
So what is it for you about Rolls-Royces?
I have been a member of the club for 26 years, and I was in Mercedes-Benz for quite a while. And in the neighborhood I live in, I was driving down the street, and I saw Rolls-Royces at a friend's business in Audubon, New Jersey, and that's what he worked on, was Rolls-Royce and Bentley automobiles.
And you fell in
One
love.
day, I just pulled in to ask questions. Next thing I know, I owned one, and I have now owned 9 of them. I've owned 6 Rolls-Royces, and I'm on my 3rd Bentley right now.
And you guys, the club goes everywhere.
We do go everywhere. In 5 weeks, we'll be spending a week in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Last year, we were in San Diego. Year before that, we were in Lake George, New York. And next year, we'll be doing a week in Tennessee, outside of Nashville.
Is there a website in case somebody wants to find out more?
Oh, rroc.org.
Tom, it was great talking to you. I'm going to go check out one of the specials.
I think you should. That's one of our members, Mr. Mollett, has an outstanding example of the plush life of how these cars were built.
Well, let's go check it out. This is amazing. Hi, Tor.
Hi, Jackie. Good to see you.
It's good to be here. It's such a beautiful day at Point to Point.
Fine. Yeah, we lucked out with a beautiful. So how could it be any better?
I know, right?
Now?
So there are like 30, 40 Rolls-Royces and Bentleys here, but yours really stands out. Tell me what this is all about.
Okay, maybe it stands out because we designed an empty tailgate, my husband and I. This trunk was just tin when we purchased the car and restored the front of the car. Then we thought, why wouldn't it be cool to have a tailgate party roll out of the back of your trunk?
Sure.
So we designed a place for the glassware, the cocktails, the silver, the china, and the table rolls out, flips down, adjusts legs, and voila, you have a tailgate party right in the back of your trunk.
That's amazing. Now, did you get these dishes specifically for this?
Absolutely, and every single place here
Has a place
fits
to go.
so they don't rattle when you're driving.
So you and your husband do this together, right?
We do. We've been together for a long time.
So tell me a little bit about the car. What year is it?
Okay, 56, rolls, colors we bought, the blues, we call it Big Blue. And it was actually a Mulliner design with the chauffeur glass between the passenger back seat and the chauffeur in the front. So it's kind of a unique, special car.
Absolutely, and with the modifications, you can have a little feast, a little champagne. It's always a party.
It's always a party. We're professional tailgaters, everyone says.
Excellent. So is this your husband's baby, or
It's the cars are his baby, and I feel guilty because he puts all the work energy into it. I'm just the one who fluffs up the tailgates.
Well, it looks amazing. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thanks.
I tell you what, whenever we're done with the show, I'll come back for some champagne.
Okay, come back. You all come back and join the tailgate party.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm Sam Prestia from Barn Hill Preserve, and I love all the animals on the 302.
Welcome back. We're having a blast at Point to Point. And the point of Point to Point, other than to have a good time, is to raise money for conservation here on Winterthur. I'm joined now by Colin Hadsell. He is a horticulturist, one of many here at Winterthur. So thank you so much for joining us, first of all.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad to, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the program. So there's 1,000 acres here,
Yep.
right? Talk to me about just the sheer number of people it takes to keep this property in its natural state?
So we actually have a pretty tight team. We have just under 20 people taking care of over 1,000 acres. So it takes a lot of work to make this place look as good as it does. And I think we do a great job of that. I mean, just look at the woodlands behind us, look at the point-to-point track that makes this event possible. We take care of so much natural lands, but on top of that, we take care of about 60 acres of manicured gardens as well, and that's what I do here. I'm a horticulturist in those gardens.
So let's talk a little bit about the gardens for somebody who maybe hasn't been out to Winterthur, and I would highly recommend that you come because it is beautiful. So walk me through the gardens and what they have to offer for visitors.
So the gardens are the brainchild of H.F. DuPont. He started planting them in the early 1900s with a few daffodils, and then it turned into millions and millions of bulbs in those cultivated garden areas. So me and a team of other horticulturists, we take care of really manicured but wild gardens. So unlike Longwood Gardens or other more formal botanical gardens in the area that you may be familiar with, ours is a little bit more wild, a little bit more controlled chaos. And I am biased, but I think it is the best spring garden in the area. The azaleas are blooming right now, and Azalea Woods is fantastic. It's the best show around this time of the year.
So what does it look like? I know that we've had the pleasure of checking it out, but you really go in there, and it's beautiful and lush. Do we have different kinds of azaleas?
Yeah, so we have a ton of different types of azaleas. Very few native azaleas, mostly Japanese. So we have colors ranging from really soft satin whites to pinks to mauve, red. It's just like, it's fireworks. It's awesome.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and I know you mentioned that there are a bunch of natural forests, and we had talked to some folks that actually come out here and do some forest bathing because it's just such a pure environment that you guys have out here.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So we have a lot of woodlands here. We have Chandler Woods, Brown Woods, and they are all walkable by trail. So if you come here, not a lot of people know that on top of the gardens, we also have a lot of natural lands trails. You can walk through the meadows. Pretty much every bit of Winterthur is walkable, which is really unique for a public garden.
So you also have a lot of people that come to watch the birds. Is there like a birding program here? I don't know if that's the way aviary, I'm not sure.
So we have a couple different programs here. We have a kestrel program, which is run by our natural lands team. We have bluebird boxes, which I don't think we can see any in our purview here, but this is usually a really quiet spot, these fields, and this is a great spot to come and really chill, especially after a snowstorm. This is the most peaceful spot. You have birds flying around. But yeah, we have bluebird boxes, we have kestrel boxes, and a number of other different initiatives, environmental and stewardship sort of things.
This was really important to H.F. DuPont. He really wanted to study nature and preserve it. And you guys really do an amazing job of living up to his legacy, I think.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to hope so. HF was a collector, so he collected plants, and then he hired teams of experts and all that to take care of them. And I'd like to think that we carry on that tradition of stewardship. I always tell people that I'm a horticulturist in title, but I think we're more stewards than anything. We take care of this area. We kind of help it along because it grows and does its own thing in a way that is beyond us. It's awesome.
So every time someone comes out to Point or they visit Winterthur, those proceeds help to keep this place as beautiful as it can be. But I mean, how hard is it, you know, once all the cars are gone and everything, the tents are gone, to kind of like, you know, put it back to where it was until next year? Yeah,
so there's always like a breath, and you know, go, oh man, what are we in for this time? And then we get to work. So all year long, we take care of these fields, we mow them, we make sure that the waterways are doing their thing, that the water is ecologically friendly, everything is, you know, up to par. And then us horticulturists, I don't have much stake in the natural lands game, but we do a lot of the fine pruning of the things in the garden. So those proceeds that we make from things like Point to Point go to, you know, big stuff like this, but they also go towards my pruners or the shoes that are on my feet, you know, that make us good horticulturists to take care of HF's legacy and all that.
Absolutely. I got to tell you, every time I come and I do see the gardens, I'm so jealous, and I think to myself, how can I learn to do something like this? So I'm sure a lot of people are inspired by the work that you do.
I'd like to think that we're making it a little bit more accessible too. We do a lot of videos and things like that on social media that show people that they can do things like this. This is a grand scale. You'll never get to this size, but on a small scale, you can make containers that are beautiful, and you can have your own little wild garden, just like Winterthur, at your home pretty easily. It's not hard to do.
So if someone wants to learn more about the conservation programs here, or maybe to donate to help keep things going, where do they need to go?
So they can check out our website, winterthur.org. They can look at our social media pages, so on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anything, you name it. You can go on there and you can contact anybody. We're very friendly, and we'll point you in the right direction.
Well, Colin, thank you so much for joining us. I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks so much.
Enjoy the day.
Yeah, I will.
We'll be right back. We hope you're enjoying our show on Point to Point. Here are some other events you might want to check out. So much to see and do at Point to Point that we're not just doing one show, we are doing two. Join us next weekend as we take a look at all of the people and the events that make this event so magical. That'll do it for this week's episode of the 302. You want to make sure that you check us out on Facebook to get that behind the scenes content. Now we're going to leave you with a very special beauty shop. There are a lot of four-legged friends here that are just so adorable. Until next time, I'm Jackie Ferris. Tell them you saw it on the 302.